Hello everyone, my name is Mariah and welcome to Yoga with Mariah. So for today we're going to do a small sequence for alleviating lower back pain. I know all of us have lower back pain, even I do. So this sequence is specifically for lower back pain and will also strengthen the core to prevent lower back pain. So you'll need two items. You'll need a strap and a blanket. And if you don't have a strap, you can use a belt or you can use a tie, anything that you have at home. And then we'll get started. All right, so tie your hair back and we'll get started in our practice. So place the blanket at the back of your mat for your head, and we'll start laying on our backs. Situate the blanket so it's right underneath your head, and then bring your feet as wide as your mat and let your knees come together. And you'll notice a little bit, or some of you may even have like a big space between your lower back. So let's press into your feet, lift your hips off the mat, and roll your tailbone forward. Then release your hips down onto the mat so that your lower back is flushed on the mat. Place your hands by your side, or you could place them on your torso. And let's just connect with our breath here. We'll do 3 inhalations through the nose and out through the mouth. So inhale here and exhale out through the mouth. Inhale and exhale. And just be sure to exhale out all of the air. And then inhale one more time. And exhale out through the mouth. We'll just settle into our bodies here, connecting with our breath. And let go of the past, let go of the future. Become present here and now, where it counts. And thank yourself for coming onto the mat today. And if Ujjayi is in your practice today, you can start cultivating that now by constricting the back of your throat on an inhalation and on an exhalation. It's a small audible sound. It sounds like a wave behind your throat. Now from here, heel toe your feet back to center, hips distance apart, parallel your feet. And bring your right knee into your chest, placing your hands on your shins, your right shin. Keep your left knee bent. And you can even roll and draw circles with the right knee, becoming more aware of your hip. You can even flex your foot and stretch it out. And then we'll grab our straps. And we'll strap our right foot, placing one strap in each hand. And you'll pull down onto the strap, plugging the right femur bone back into the right hip socket. Now, if you have tight hamstrings, your knee will probably be bent, and that's okay. But we'll just work towards straightening the leg over time. And then you can keep your left knee bent with your left foot flat, or you can extend your left leg forward for Supta Padangusthasana A. Flex the left toes and press the left thigh bone down into the mat. Take a few breaths here. Now, if you're crunching in the right side waist, lengthen the right side waist by rolling the right hip forward and down. Now, if there's a camera up on the ceiling looking down at your hips, your frontal hip bones would be equidistant to the mat. Nice and squared here. Soften the navel towards the spine. Keep pulling down onto the strap. Pressing both thigh bones forward. We'll take one more breath here and make it count. And release the strap, bend both knees, both feet flat on the mat. We'll bring our left knee into our chest and pull your left knee towards your chest. You can also draw circles with your knees, but keep that right knee bent. Flex and stretch your left ankle. This is really good for the sciatic nerve. And we'll strap our left foot, placing one strap on each hand. And then you can keep your right knee bent or extend your right leg forward. Press your right thigh bone down into the mat. Flex the right toes and keep both legs nice and active. And you're plugging that left femur bone back into the left hip socket. Now, if you're crunching in the left side waist, lengthen the side waist by rolling the left hip forward. Soften the navel towards the spine. Press your shoulder blades into the mat. And one more breath here. And then we'll release the straps. Place the strap on the side, bring both knees towards your chest for Apanasana. One hand on each shin, rock side to side, massaging the lower back. And we'll draw circles with our knees. We'll go one direction, breath by breath. And then we'll move the other direction, breath by breath. And then we'll roll off to the right side and we'll come up to tabletop position. You can also place the blanket underneath your knees if you have weak knees. But we'll find our way into tabletop position, bringing our wrists underneath our shoulders with our wrists shoulder distance apart. Bring our knees hips distance apart with our knees under hips. Find a neutral spine here, but we'll do a few rounds of cat-cow here. So inhale, drop the belly, lift the chest and look up. Exhale, lift the belly in and up and round your upper back. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the tailbone. Exhale, press into your hands and round your upper back like a cat. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the chest. Exhale, round your upper back and press into your hands. Spread those shoulder blades apart. Do a few more rounds on your own, breath by breath. Find the ebb and flow. Make sure to inhale full breath and exhale all your breath out. And then find a neutral spine here. Draw the belly in and use your core. We'll extend the right leg out, hip height, square the hips and point the toes down. Then extend the left arm out, shoulder height, thumb faces ceiling as if you're shaking someone's hand. Draw the belly in and use your core so you're not arching in the lower back. Take a few breaths here in your balance pose and use your core. Now, if your right glute is powerful and rolling your right hip open, then slowly roll the right hip down, keeping the frontal hip bones nice and even. Now find that energy rooting through the right hand, up through the right shoulder. Gaze down and lengthen the back of your neck. And then exhale, release the hand, release the leg, and we'll do the other side. So extend the left leg out, hip height, square the hips and point the left toes down. Then extend the right arm out, shoulder height, thumb face to ceiling as if you're shaking someone's hand. Now if you're arching in the lower back, hug the belly in. Find that energy up through the left arm, Lengthen the back of the neck and roll the left hip down, pointing the left toes down towards the mat, squaring the frontal hip bones. Hug the right hip into the midline. One more breath here, you can do it. And then release the hand, release the leg. Now we'll go into child's pose here, so bring the big toes together, knees as wide as your torso. Send your hips towards your heels. And then find your way with your arms extended forward for extended child's pose. An extended child's pose is really good for your lower back. Child's pose in general is really good for your back. Lengthen the spine and connect with your breath here. Now look between your hands. Walk your fingertips about a ½ inch forward. Make sure that your hands are shoulder distance apart and your pointer fingers facing the front of the room. Lift the forearms off the mat and firm the outer arms into the midline. Then you'll come into tabletop position. Tuck the toes and lift your hips up and back into your first downward facing dog. Now you'll bend the knee, walk your dog. Bend one knee and then the other. But keep rooting into the hands. Find that energy drawing up through the arms. Just become familiar with your body here as you walk your dog. Gaze between the feet to lengthen the back of your neck. And then find some stillness in your downward facing dog. Now, if you're rounding in your upper back, then bend your knees and press your chest forward to lengthen the back of your neck, or the back of your spine. And you can work towards pressing both thigh bones back to release the heels down. One more breath here. Lift the forearms off the mat and firm the outer arms into the midline. Then come up on your tip toes, bend your knees, and step to the front of the mat for Uttanasana forward fold. Separate your feet hips distance apart and parallel them. Bend your knees to rest your torso on your thighs. Release the crown of the head towards the mat. And then shift weight into the balls of the feet so you can start to really work the hamstrings. You can always use your blocks here at home if you're unable to touch the ground. And then from here, clasp your elbows and rock side to side. Shake your head yes and no. And then we'll switch the crossing of our elbows. Rock side to side, shake yes and no. And as you exhale, feel the gravity pull your upper back down. Then release the hands down. Inhale, halfway Ardha Uttanasana. You can have your hands on the mat or gently on your shins. Draw the belly in, shoulders draw away from the ears. Reach the crown of the head away from the tailbone. Then exhale, forward fold Uttanasana. Release the crown of the head. Inhale, halfway Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, bend your knees, plant your hands next to your feet, step back into downward facing dog. Have your hands shoulder distance apart, your feet hips distance apart. Stay here for a few breaths. Lift the forearms off the mat and firm the outer arms into the midline. Press into your feet. Root down in the circumference of your hand. Put a little bit more weight in the index finger and thumb. And then press both thigh bones back as you release the heels down towards the mat. And then come into a tabletop position, bringing both knees onto the mat. And then we'll swing our legs forward. So take your arms forward, palms face each other. Extend your legs out, flex your toes, and we'll roll down onto our backs vertebrae by vertebrae, using our core. And go slowly with control. And when we find our way onto our backs, if you wanted to bring the blanket underneath your head, you can do that. Bend both knees, feet flat on the mat. We'll do a little bit of core here. So we'll inhale our arms up overhead, palms face each other, soften the lower ribs in. Then exhale your arms forward by your hips. Inhale your arms up overhead. Exhale, lower your arms down by your hips. Inhale your arms up overhead. And then we'll incorporate the core here. So exhale, crunch your abdomen. Bring your arms forward. Lift your shoulder blades off the mat. Gaze up towards the ceiling. Inhale, lower your chest, lower your back, and lift your arms up overhead. Exhale, crunch, bring your arms forward and lift a little bit higher. Gaze up towards the ceiling. Inhale, release down, bring your arms up overhead, palms face each other. Exhale, crunch, lift the shoulder blades off the mat, gaze up towards the ceiling and make this one count. Lift a little bit higher. And then inhale, lower down, bring the arms up overhead. We'll do it one more time. Exhale, crunch, bring your arms forward, look up towards the ceiling, lift your shoulder blades off the mat a little bit higher, lift a little bit higher, and then exhale, lower down. Beautiful. So bring your knees towards your chest for Apanasana. One more time. We'll rock side to side here, massaging the lower back. Place both feet flat on the mat. We'll do the figure four. So bring your right ankle and cross it over the left thigh. Flex the right toes to protect the knee. And then bring your knees towards your chest and clasp behind your left hamstring. And you can also grab your left shin if you'd like to. Wherever you're at in your practice, just be sure to flex the right toes to protect the knee. Soften the navel towards the spine, and you'll press the right elbow into the right thigh for a deeper glute stretch. This pose is really good for the lower back, the glute, the hips, pretty much everything you need. One more breath here. And then release the leg, uncross the legs, and cross the left ankle over the right thigh. Flex the left toes, and with the strength of your legs, bring your knees towards your chest. Clasp behind your right hamstring or your right shin, you choose. You can also press your left elbow into your left thigh to give it a little bit of a glute stretch here. Keep rooting the lower back down into the mat. We'll take one more breath here. And then release your legs, uncross the legs. We'll go into happy baby. Grab the outside edges of your feet. Knees wider than your torso. Bring your elbows on the inside of your knees. Release the sacrum down towards the mat. Soften the belly and pull down onto your feet, giving yourself a hip opener here. You're pressing your shoulder blades in the back of your head gently into the mat. You can rock side to side or stay still, whatever you'd like to do in your practice. And then bring both knees into your chest. Keep your knees into your chest. We'll go into a gentle twist. But if you'd like to use your blanket, you can also use your blanket in between your knees to relieve your lower back. So you'll take your arms like a T, palms face up, or into a cactus with your palms face up. Whatever whatever you can do in the space that you have. And from here, you'll reach your arms vigorously away from each other. Inhale behind your heart center, and exhale, release the left knees towards the left elbow for a gentle twist. Now this is where it comes handy for the blanket or the block or the pillow. You can place it in between your knees, and that will help relieve the lower back as well when you're doing this twist. You can look up or you can look towards the right. And as you inhale, lengthen. And then as you exhale, release the right hip away from the right shoulder. One more breath here. And then gaze back up towards the ceiling. And try to keep both knees together. Inhale, come back to center. And then exhale, release the knees towards the right elbow. Again, I'll demo here. You can use the blanket and fold the blanket between your thighs like this as you twist. And this helps relieve the lower back for most cases and for most people. One more breath here. As you inhale, you lengthen. And as you exhale, you release the left hip away from the left shoulder. You can look up or look towards the left, but you choose whatever feels good to you. And inhale, look, gaze back up towards the ceiling. And then try to keep both knees together, come back to center. And we'll curl up into a tight, tiny ball. You'll curl the tailbone, lift the shoulder blades off the mat, and hug yourself. Use every muscle in your body. And then come into your Shavasana. Extend your legs wider than your hips. Let your feet flop off to the side. Bring your arms at a 40-degree angle, palms face up. And you'll snuggle your shoulder blades down your back to lift the chest. And release any pranayama. Come back to regular breathing. Relax the muscles in between your eyebrows. The muscles in between your eyes, your eyelids. Relax your lips. Relax your jaw. Melt into the earth. Feel the cold air as you inhale. Feel the warm air as you exhale. Feel the rise of the belly. And feel the belly fall. Melt into the earth beneath you. For your Shavasana, all right, everyone, that was it. That was alleviating back pain, my little sequence that you guys can do whenever you have time or free time at home. So if you liked the video, then please comment below. Please like the video and subscribe. And we will see you next week, next Thursday. Bye, everyone.